Okay, good morning, kids. In today's class, we'll discuss some numericals on the center of mass, collisions, and work energy, and conservation of linear momentum. Some all mixed ideas of all these three. I brought it one place. So let me start the class. These are most of the questions I brought where students somehow they found difficult in the final exams. Even such small ideas, no, students are thinking in something very big way. That's why I just picked up all very normal questions, not something higher maths is involved. It's asking time taken to move from B to C. But you have to calculate within 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. There's a problem. The strategy, everything it has to work out within 2-3 minutes. So we do have, I'll just proceed with the basic diagram. Afterwards, straight line. So there's a block. There's a block. So mass M1 and so capital M2 and M1, I'll write it. Later on in the end, we can change them symbols. It is released here. So there's a, it is kept on smooth horizontal surface. These things within 3 minutes, how you conclude, I think that matters a lot. Most of you know how to solve this problem, but can you do this in 3 minutes is I think finally matters a lot in final exam. Meanwhile, I'll set up things okay, now I shaded roughly. Okay, there's a wedge. Till here, so it's a curved one. Almost we'll put it. Afterwards, we'll get a straight path. So this is the H he has given. What will happen this one? So yeah, as it slides, the wedge will move towards right. The wedge position will be somewhere here. Slightly it has got displaced, no? Then again, finally, now as it starts moving, as the block M1 starts moving, so what is the state of the wedge? Wedge will be moving. So I'll give all the suitable explanations. So the block now it has appeared to this position. What is the velocity they will acquire? So here it will have velocity v1. This will have velocity v2. Now what is the time taken to move from B to C? B to C length is how much is equal to L. The length BC is equal to L. Can we get V1, V2? I think it's quite very simple problem. M1 GH equal to M1 V1 square plus M2 V2 square. Then applying conservation of linear momentum, the release from rest system. So M1, M2 V2 minus M1. Solving this, I'll get V1 and V2. I think clear, no problem. So we have to work out. There's no other way. We have to get V1 and V2. Then afterwards, what is the state of this? You can directly take the relative velocity approach. No? So what is the distance BC is equal to L? This distance is equal to L. So there's a, just go for relative motion between C and point B and C, or between the block and point C. They're moving opposite to each other. It is make problem very simple. This is V2. This is V1. What is the time taken by them? Block to travel from B to C. Finally, they'll meet, no? So this is C, this is B, will take it. So in this case, what you write time? Time should be equal to L by V relative. Here is what most of students, they went wrong. Nothing to do, like a point C will have a velocity V2 and point B not point B, the block. You have to discuss the relative motion between the block and the point C, not point B again. I'm making things clear. So V1, V2, you know how to calculate from here. You'll be shocked, almost 70% students could not do this problem in the grand test when it is given. Just be careful about the small ideas in final advanced exam. I think this is what happens for most of students. Like, so will it be exactly at position of B? We don't know. They may ask you those things also. You have to be careful. When the block C reaches there. So can we calculate the displacement, like how much the wedge has moved all? So anyway, we have the data, no? So the displacement of wedge should be this much. The displacement of block should be this much, because we know T also. So what is that? I'm showing X2, this one. And what is that X1, the displacement of the block? I'll slightly displace it. This will be, or we'll keep it somewhere here. I'll slide on. Anybody taking printout or something, make observation, I'll slide on. Very simple application problem. Very, very, very simple. I know there'll be some confusion for you. Look at the thing. Read the question carefully. Rod part. The rod can freely. There's a rod of length L. There's a block, and these two will collide here. A small block of mass L compressed against action. The spring has force constant. After then, the block it collides pair of mass M, which is suspended from a massless rod. The rod can freely rotate in a vertical circle about its top point. Considering the equation, the minimum compression in the spring so that the sphere can complete full circle. It should complete full circle. I can't remove. Yeah. I think the problem is something related to vertical circular motion. It should go and collide, and after collision, it should be able to rotate fully. Let's have small diagrams. This is a block. It is compressed. No, let me begin with the problem. It is being compressed. So how much it should be compressed distillating? And we have a rod here. So when I release this, anything will happen to the, it is being compressed, but how much it should be compressed? Let me say X naught. I'll release it. What will happen to the block? It will experience a spring force. A block of mass M held compressed against the spring as shown. The spring has force constant. After leaving the block, it collides a sphere of same mass which is suspended from this one. So the block, by the time it arrives here, it will have say velocity v1 or say v naught, anything you put it. No, it may will it lose contact? I think it didn't give further. A block of mass M held compressed. I think you this is very important. Like, sir, is it block connected to spring or not? I think the language matters a lot. Held compressed. Just the block is in contact with the spring. Afterwards, it lose contact here. Then it will come here block. Whatever the next diagram, it will come and collide with it, and it will impart velocity to the bob. I think I can't show all the sequence of diagrams. What else? So that eld compressed is something yeah, we'll proceed in this way. So the block will come and collide. So very next moment, okay, the block will, after some time, the block will come and collide. What it does, it will just impart that momentum to this one, no, to the rod. And the rod will acquire that velocity and it will swing. Quotient of restitution E is telling. So what are the conditions? Both are having same mass M. So what is our next part of the problem? I'll make it simple. Regarding rod, what to do? After collision, this will have velocity say V2 and the block will have say velocity V1. Now get into the problem. It should swing, so that this will swing, and finally it should become vertical. When it becomes vertical, it should just become vertical. What are the conditions for vertical circular motion? For a rod, string, okay, no, we have a rod. What should be the minimum velocity should acquire? If it just instantaneous rest is enough, no? Or just if it comes to rest, that is enough. It will complete vertical circular motion. This is a basic condition here. String means it must have some velocity. Rod means it doesn't need any condition. Just if it reaches highest point, that is enough. Just non-zero velocity is sufficient for it to complete the circular path. So what should be the velocity V2 now? Now we'll get into calculation. So mv2 square should be equal to mg 2L. So what is the required velocity? Should be root 4GL, not 5GL. I think here again you go wrong. Then we'll go for the collision. Before collision, mv0. After collision, mv2 plus mv1. So v0 equal to v1 plus v2. Quotient of restitution, v2 minus v1 by v0. So e v0 equal to v2 minus v1. Adding up these two, e v0 plus v0 equal to 2v2. So v2 is equal to v0 1 plus e by 2. I think we wanted v1 value. Substitute this in any one equation. So this will become v0 equal to v1 plus so this will become v0 by 2 minus v0 e by 2 v1. So I got v1. So this mv1 square should be equal to that initial compression. So therefore, what is x0? X0 should be equal to v1 by m by k. Yeah, k equal to 4. So what is value of v1? V1 will be v0 by 2. Oh, I have mv0, no, it is. I think somewhere I missed this one. So after getting v1, the minimum compression in the spring, the sphere can full complete. So we needed value of v0. Okay, here we'll get it. X is equal to v0 into v0 will be m by k. But we don't know v0. I think you have to bring all this. V2 value you have to substitute. Then you get v0 in terms of root GL. I think I handed up. One more step that this will include here. Root 4GL equal to v0 1 plus E by 2. So V naught, I think this V1 not needed. Then V naught will become equal to 2 root 4 GL by 1 plus C. This will substitute. Just I calculated. Directly will get V naught. Then you substitute here this V naught value. 2 1 plus E 4 GL 4 MGL by K. I think the value should be 2. Four, huh? We are getting 2.
Take root for outside.
Oh, that. No, okay, fine. Yeah. I didn't see. Our biggest problem, I think everyone, rod. If it's a string, root 5 GL, rod, root 4 GL. Better remember. Some clean observation of the question has to be made. I think in the exam, nothing is there. The idea will be very simple. All these questions which I brought it are from the grant test where students could not do easily due to small things. And this may happen for you. So I'm just asking you to that you have to finally extra alert has to be there. That will come. See, like I said, for what to do for this. I think this will not come by solving numericals. It's all these things will come by extra alert in exam. I will take the next one. I'm really testing you here. Let's see that what you do with this problem. I'll give you 2 minutes time so that you meanwhile I'll set the diagram. And here we have placed a block. After this, we have a circular track. I think you have to be little bit that alert is needed, huh? Take out this one. Okay, till here is what? Oh, same height, huh? Both of them. No. What to do when rod comes? It's telling like if the rod after collision rotates to an angle 30 degrees from the horizontal, the ratio of masses m by m. Mass of the rod, let me choose that as m1. And the mass of this block, let it be m2. m2 by m1 is what being asked. Collision occurs. how to write the collision between the rod and the block. See, these are the difficulties what you face when you do preparation chapter wise, especially last 2-3 months. No, it should be all about the full paper is what you have to solve. You should never go for individual chapters because now your mindset is conservation of angular momentum. Yes, right, Asita, yeah, right. Your mindset is like you are trying to think about collisions only. With the idea of collisions, you want to solve. Final exam, how do you say that it's a collision? Nothing general, no. So here the rod will collide. You can't apply the collision here. You have to go for conservation of angular momentum. So the rod, when it swings, it will come with an angular velocity. So when the rod comes to this position, it'll come and collide with an angular velocity. Or I'll show it. We have this will be very, very important. So this rod, it will swing. No, it'll come and collide. No, we have to take the collision between the rod and this particular particle, no, or the small block. No, you can't apply the collisions idea there. Quotient of restitution, you can apply it, but not the collision something, because the momentum is not the linear momentum, you cannot apply it. So the rod, it will come and collide here. Then after collision, it will swing back to 30 degrees. So it is what happens here. I'll release it. So it will come, collide. After collision, it will swing back. Okay, just before collision, so it will have angular velocity omega naught. Okay, that what is that omega naught? We know from rotational mechanical energy. From there we can apply it. After collision, this rod will swing back to an angle 30 degree with respect to horizontal. I'll make one small diagram so that it'll be easy for you to understand. So this rod, so what it does, it will swing back. So immediately it will acquire an angular velocity how much? So let it be omega 1. Then it will swing back to this position 30 degrees. And the meanwhile, what happened to block will acquire a velocity, say v2. And it will slide. By the time when it reaches here it will have the normal contact will be twice of that one. So here you put it normal contact, right, N2. Here the weight M2G. Later all other things we will add into the problem. To an angle 30 degree from the horizontal. Okay, get into the problem now. So it must have here velocity. Some V you write it or V3. We have to discuss the problem. First, how to get omega naught. This will be half into ml square by 3 omega naught square by 2. Decrease in kinetic energy should be equal to, increase in kinetic energy should be equal to decrease in potential energy, mgl by 2. M1, it is M1. Where M1, what are the symbols? M1 equal to M, M2 equal to capital M. Omega naught equal to 3G by L. Then with this, we'll apply conservation of angular momentum. About what? About point P. About point of suspension. O, you write it. LOZI equal to LOZF. We do mistake of writing here conservation of linear momentum. You should not apply. An impulse will act here. But in exams, I think so, like the moment you say collision, no, you start thinking, but you have to control yourself. Huh? So this should be equal to initial angular momentum, M1.
That should be 60 degrees, sir.
Hmm?
That should be 60 degrees, sir.
If the rod after collision rotates to an angle 30 degree from the horizontal, okay, this will be 60 degrees. Hmm? From the horizontal, no? rotates to an angle 30 degree from the horizontal. I think the question itself a little bit.
Even in the diagram, he mentioned 30 degrees, sir. So the diagram is correct only.
Oh, okay, that diagram is correct, but the explanation should have been rotates to an angle 60 degree from the vertical. It should be. I think that will be more meaningful, because it will swing from here, no?
Yes, sir.
That one. Okay, let it be. I'll retain that one. So the angular momentum. So this should be called initial angular momentum omega naught equal to final angular momentum omega. This should be the negative sign plus angular momentum of the block mv2l. I have relations between omega naught value we know it. Omega and v2 both are unknown. So what we do is we'll go for quotient of restitution formula. E is equal to, but the collision is telling elastic here. The block after collision moves on smooth vertical circular track. We didn't say anything about collision. Okay, we'll see for further. Okay, this will be equal to E2 equal to V2 minus of L omega 1 into L omega naught minus 0. Let's come to the block here. The rod after collision rotates through angle 30 degree. I think, can we get this omega 1? Omega 1, I should write. Can we get that omega 1? Applying again conservation of mechanical energy. This should be equal to half m1 L square by 2. Omega 1 square should be equal to m1 G L by 2. 1 minus cos 60 degrees. Omega 1 will be 2, 3G by 2L. Okay, we know omega 1, we know omega naught. I'll get the V2. I think no need of this. Okay, anyway, we have just wrote it because collisions we are learning. Quotient of restitution for the rod and particle. We can, if we ask, find the quotient of restitution, you can work out here. There's the only purpose why I brought equation 3. Put this equation 4. And then afterwards, the ratio of masses m1 by m2 is what being asked. Can we bring the V2 from here, applying conservation of mechanical energy? On the block at point C, it's 1/3 on point C. I'll make some changes. Till here, no, it is. Point C is here. Here it will exert a normal contact. And what is this normal contact? Is equal to 1/3 of its weight. So what is the use of this? NC should be equal to mg by 3. So then NC should be equal to mvc square by r. What is the length here? Okay, L by 2. So this will become mg by 3 mvc square by L by 2. This is 2. So therefore VC should become equal to
Root GL by 6.
root GL by 6. After getting this V3 will write it. Then I'll apply between these two. So then applying conservation of mechanical energy, M2 V2 square equal to mg L by 2, M2 L by 2, M2 GL by 2, M2 V3 square. 2 get cancelled, so V2 is equal to GL plus V3 square, or GL plus GL by 6, 7 GL by 6. So we know value of V2, then we know value of V1, then we can get that ratio.
K will be 2, sir.
K will be 2. Okay, yeah, fine, good. Some different ideas here. If I ask you quotient of restitution between the rod and the block, you can find out. That's what I brought equation 3. So whenever that rod is there, no, rod collides with that one, so that rotation mechanics concept is, I think, has to be brought here. I wanted to discuss in rotation mechanics, but final exam, we don't know no, how they'll categorize anything. That's why I just brought it here. I'll slide down. So it's a very simple. He's asking some queries here rather than asking you to solve. The minimum value of mu for which there is no relative slipping between A and B. Let me take the same diagram. Now you can see things clearly. This will have acceleration A naught. Please do think it's a very simple. You should not make it very complicated here. No effect of this. Let's get into that one. So first, what happened? You can the acceleration of block B from ground frame and elongation the spring is maximum. The minimum value of mu for which there is no relative slipping between A and B. What are they? Let's get into trolley frame. I'll stand here. There are two persons. Are there? One person on the ground. So one person will stand here, and the other person is on the trolley. This person, what he'll say? He'll put a pseudo force. Each of mass m, no, so ma naught, I'll write it. Then the spring will get elongated. Initially, what actually happens here? There'll be friction because the moment you accelerate, the spring is natural, will be at natural length. Then the pseudo force will make the block B to move towards left. Then the block A will oppose, so there'll be some friction. I'll bring it. Take this yellow, lemon yellow. And similarly, a friction will be here. And spring force is what will show it. All these are the forces that are acting. Then no slipping occur means what is the basic necessity condition here? No slipping should occur. So he's asking the minimum value of mu for which there is no relative slipping between A and B. Who will accelerate? Who will in the trolley frame? There's a condition. In the trolley frame, in the ground frame, who will move the block B, who will move the block A? First of all, is it my diagrams are correct or wrong? Intentionally, I'm just putting in either way so that you should analyze. I think here, see, like it's like a two blocks. You treat this is one end of the spring, this one. So first, what will happen? This will not move. First, this end will move. So if you start working in the ground frame, things will be a little bit easier for you rather than directly jumping to the trolley frame. So first, what will happen as you start moving? This end you are accelerating it. No? Then this will get elongated. Then spring force will act. This spring force will accelerate the block B. The block A will oppose. So therefore, the friction force on the block B will come like that. The friction force on the block A will act here. Then for no slipping, there should be a static friction. There's a one basic necessity idea. Okay, and both must have same acceleration. There should not be any relative. So this one. And now at maximum elongation, we'll go for it. Or some elongation X will take it. The work done by spring force and work done by friction should be equal and opposite in the ground frame. Okay, I think this will only accelerate the blocks here. No? In the trolley frame, what you are going to put it? You're going to just add that pseudo force. Pseudo force on what? On block B or block A? On both. We have two blocks here. The total pseudo force you have to show it. So in the trolley frame, you treat this as AB. Together, this has mass 2m, 2ma naught, and kx. It's like this. So therefore, this pseudo force now, the work done by spring force. So now this velocity of this will keep on increase. Then at maximum elongation, the work done, this will come to from rest to rest, it has moved. So net work done by the pseudo force and the spring force should be equal and opposite in the trolley frame. So therefore, I'll write the equation. Initial kinetic energy 0 plus the work done by pseudo force 2ma naught into x. The spring force does negative work in the trolley frame. So kx square by 2 equals 0. So what is x equal to now? Kx equal to 4ma naught. This is something very fundamental equation. So what we did all this analysis, trolley frame. In the ground frame, who will accelerate the blocks? Because the friction force will be equal and opposite in the ground frame. The whole system, what you see is like 2m. You just see that spring force is acting and it is making it to accelerate A naught. So in the ground frame, what is the equation you're going to write? The spring force kx will, in fact, will accelerate this one. So, but what is the acceleration? Can you write A naught? No, it is some acceleration. Let it be. What is this frame now? What is A? You should write acceleration in ground frame. So therefore, what is this acceleration? Kx by 2m. What is the value of kx? What is the value of kx? Kx equal to 4ma naught. 4ma naught by 2m. So this is 2a naught. This is at, in fact, if I write, instead of writing kx no, if I write it kxm, it will be better. And it will be more meaningful. Now, what about the option 1? I think maximum, okay, now we'll go for the question 1. Who will accelerate the block A? The friction only. F equal to me. What is m? What is A equal to? 2a naught. The minimum value of mu for this one. So what is the value of like for F to be static? So then what is the condition we can put it? So this will become mu mg equal to m 2a naught. So therefore mu equal to 2a naught by g. question is very beautiful until the student has to break up this problem. Describe the motion of the block A and B. Of course, there's no slipping between block A and B. So what is the thing is, like, in all the discussion? There's no slipping between blocks A and B. There's a central idea, because the question itself is asked keeping this in mind. You check that also.
Sir,
Okay. Yeah.
sir, why they will have zero velocity at extended is maximum, sir?
You go for SHM at extreme point. What is the state of the block? Will be a test, no? That's what I brought here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
These are our answers. I'll write one more step. So therefore, I think it's very important the way you start the problem. So I think that's what happens in advanced exam. We know so many springs, blocks, so small idea. So usually we do have problems where without block B and we are done. So when I bring one other block, no, things will change a little bit. This is one more. I'm testing your collisions. First we'll discuss this. Later on, I'll come to that easy problem. I'll help you with a small diagram. Is what the ball is projected here. I don't know whether I discussed this in class, but very good. Some problem based on the collisions idea he has introduced. There's a wall. The wall is also moving with a velocity v/4. Find the total time of flight and the initial separation x between the particle and the wall. This is the particle. Ball or anything you can write. Find the total time of flight and value of x. I'll write it. The x is what I'm showing here. Read the content properly. You have to little bit, you have to think here. So you should don't go for directly writing formula. So such problems. Okay, read the question. Now, elastic, after suffering two elastic, the particle returns to the point of projection after suffering two elastic collision. So what is the point of projection? Point of projection is what will start with O. This is our point of projection. I'll indicate by red color. So it first collision will occur with the wall, next with the ground, then it will return back. I think the series of diagrams have to be taken help. I will bring all the diagrams at one place. But better, I suggest you what actually happens there? I think if you can that get in a proper order, I think problem will be solved. What actually is going on? Place will not be there. We'll write it. I think I'll try to explain through the diagram so that it'll be very easy for me to convince everyone. Okay, the ball projected. These are the set of 3 diagrams. I'll take it. Just give some time. Let me show all the. I think you are able to read the 3 diagrams and question. Everything is visible. So what is the state of the wall? Wall, will it be there only? So when this was T equals 0, it started from here. Okay, agreed. Then it will take some time now to go and collide. Meanwhile, wall will not be there only. So wall has to undergo displacement. By the time the ball reaches, the wall will not be in that position. It would have shifted. Slightly I'm displacing it. You can see. And the velocity of the wall, will it change? No, it will not change. Then the ball is somewhere, it is going to collide with the wall. Okay, let this point be P1 for us. Then again, will it be there only? The wall position will change. Will it be some? I think now we are not interested in the wall. We are not interested. What will happen to wall after collision? Let it be wherever it doesn't matter in the problem. Leave it here. Now get into the. All this you have to do very fast in 3 minutes. That's what our exam is putting a condition for you. Okay, this is a one reference line. So actually what is the path of the ball? The ball will move from here. Path I'll show red color. Then there's a point P1 and point P1 is here, no? And from here, the point P2. After this, it will return to the original position. This is what the time of flight. You are going to become engineer, definitely. I want you to solve problem drawing diagrams. Then only you can express your thoughts. Otherwise, if you write just equation, who will understand equation? Nobody will understand, no? There are 3 instants of time are there, no? Time taken by the ball to move from the point O to point P1, from P1 to P2, again P2 to O. That everything is what is asking, time of flight and what is that value of X. This much is what our question. So let me indicate some lengths here. This I'll call X1. And this distance, let me call X2. There's a point P2. I think, okay, I think now almost all the data is ready in front of us. So what is this time? This time will be TOP1. So then again, P1, P2, then PP2O. The sum of all that have to be determined. Okay, let's get into some collisions. Okay, I'm projecting with a speed v. Anything will happen to that horizontal component of velocity. So this was the wall, little bit some collisions. So just before collision, the ball will have velocity. How much it will have velocity, say v. It will remain constant, and the wall, it will continue to move with a constant velocity. It was moving with a velocity how much? V by 4. After collision, anything will happen to speed of the wall. It should remain same. Then that of the ball, it will have two velocities, two component of velocities. One, v1x, v1y. v naught x at that initial, no, from O we have projected. Then after collision, it should, y component of velocity will not change. No? Okay, let it be v1y, no problem. Whereas the x component of velocity will change. voy, v1y, later on we'll write it. I think first we have to calculate this. Since collision is elastic, I'll apply conservation of quotient of redistribution formula. E v by 4 minus of minus v1x by is equal to, this will be v minus of minus v by 4. Since collision is elastic, v by 4 plus v1x by 3v by 4. So v1x equal to v by 2. Y component of velocity will not change due to collision. First, what is the time taken to move from O to P1? That will calculate. TOP1 will calculate. So shall I use relative velocity formula? What was the separation between them is equal to x, and time taken to move from O to P1. What is the relative velocity? V minus V by 4 x TOP1. So what is TOP1 should be equal to 4x by 3. This is a very fundamental equation. Now, what is TOP1? I think it's understood. No, time taken to move from O to P1. Time taken to move from O to P1. Now, similarly, what is x1? Shall we define x1? In that, so the ball, what happened? The distance moved by the ball to go and collide with the wall. That is what x1, not x. X is the distance moved relative to wall. X1 is the distance moved by the ball with respect to ground to collide with the wall. So what is x1? We can write it. X1 is equal to just v into TOP1. 4x by 3v. I think almost problem is over. What is x1? X1 equal to x2 plus x3. Is it needed? Also, we'll see. Is it all these calculations you are needed, sir? Why you are doing all this one? Now, what is the total time of flight? TOP1, TOP2. Now we'll come to the y component of velocities. After collision, y component of velocities, here it will have y component. It will rebound with a speed vy. And finally, it returns to this one. And x component of velocity will not change. Okay, here v1x, and it will be v1x only. So I'll directly get into. So do we know TOP1? 4x by 3v. Do we know T2 plus TP1, P2 and P2 P2O, time taken to move from P1, P2 to P2O. I think you should cover the distance x1 only, no? With a speed how much? With a speed v1x. Don't go for any calculation. So again, for what happened, the ball from P1, it will go strike P2 and will come to O. How much of horizontal distance it has covered? X1. Do we know X1? X1 we brought in terms of X. I don't know where it is. X1 equal to, I'll write separately. Yeah? This is the. So I'll break up this one. Total time of flight. TO, P1, P2, O. This will write it. This should be equal to TO, P1, TP1, P2 plus TP2. TOP1 we wrote 4x by 3v plus TP1, P2. This I'll put bracket. And this should be equal to, I'm just going to write this is equal to x1 by v. To x1 by v or only x1 by v. Time taken from year to year. X1 by v by 2, no, it will, or I'll write it. Now I think you have better. So what is v1x equal to v by 2? So this will become further 4x by 3v plus 2x1 by v. What is x1 equal to? 4x by 3, you write it. The next step will be t equal to 4x by 3v. X1 equal to 4x by 3. 12x by 3v or 4x by v. What is no, what is t? First of all, is asking x. First of all, what is the t? Anybody answers? Because I vt by 4. Okay, if you know t, then you can bring the x. But we don't know capital T, no? That was we are supposed to find out, and I just ended up there. All the collisions are elastic. So it will just how much of height it will descend. It will descend height small h, then again it's rebound to h, no? So shall we write this as 2 times of 2h by g? Time period. So in the beginning only you could have done. So that will write it here in the corner. Time taken to move from this t should be equal to how much? 2 times of 2h by g. Substitute this value there. You are going to get the value of x. Why 2h? Because I think time taken to descend and ascend, time of flight. H equal to half gt square. I think. So. Now what is t equal to h by g? Time of descent should be equal to time of ascent. We have this much here. Then you substitute the value of x there, you'll get the required answer. Why root? Why? So sorry, root will not be there. Yeah. I made correction. So therefore now x equal to v by 4 to this will be your answer. This is very important. I want everyone to think. So how you are writing this. Actually, the first part is over. The second part to calculate x is what we did all. So we do expect that we'll get answer for t. No, we'll just get expression for t and x till here. Then I'm rewriting x equal to Vt by 4. X equal to Vt by 4. What is T? T is from here. Because as it is elastic collision, I'm able to write it. If the inelastic collision, not possible. Because here Vy component will change, no? You can expect in exam, because actually I took a lot of time in explanation, but in exam within 4 minutes, I think you can wind up very easily in the data. Of all, unless if you don't think this is the very important idea of the problem. This flower bracket, the way we write it, no, they're the very important. I'll go to the next one. Next problem will pick up. The same question. Hope I think now this question will help you to understand the way I'm. A particle is thrown from a high-touch origin towards a vertical wall. It'll go collide. I think this problem you have come out. So it will come like this. This is the trajectory. Then what is the time of flight? Time taken to move from P1 to P2 and back to O. This is again total time of flight. Okay, 2 times of 2h by g. Say, what is the time taken? Either whether it will strike here or here. Time taken to go and strike the ground is how much? 2h by g, no? Then again it will rebound. Because y component velocity will not change because of elastic collision. Yeah, similarly, one more is there. Hemisphere is made available here. Read the question, I'll adjust the diagram. This will be sufficient. At a height r by 2, it will come and strike. So it will strike at a height r by 2. Height r by 2 is this one. Equal to 1. Elastic collision only. I'll write clearly. I'll write it. Here will mention. Okay, what is the trajectory of this? The trajectory of this, it should strike normally. I'm unable to show the diagram. Yeah, now it will work out. Where is the particle? Particle is here. It is thrown horizontally. So it will strike. I think getting diagram little bit difficult, maybe. Yeah. It has to strike normally, huh? Then only all the things are possible. Not, it will not come normally, it will come, but here when striking, it strike normally. Then only can retrace path. And there's a basic necessity condition. It will happen practically. We may doubt it, sir. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Okay, this we know value of theta. This will take theta. We'll take this is theta. Then this will be theta. X component of velocity, Y component of velocity we can define. So during collision, it will have Vx. This will be Vy. So tan theta, I think theta value we know it, R by 2 by R. Sine theta. Theta equal to 30 degrees. So therefore tan theta equal to Vy by Vx. This is a relationship between the components. Now what is Vy? How much of height it will descend? H equal to 4R is given. What is this total height? The total height is 4R. That will indicate. I think some little bit some geometry is there. We can manage this. So it will strike at a distance R by 2. So this is R by 2. Then how much of height it will descend? 7R by 2. So Y should be equal to so what is Vy? Vy we can write it as 2Gy. So 2G into 7R by 2. So 7GR. Horizontal component of velocity has to remain same, U only. Find U is asking. So tan theta, I'll substitute. So 1 by root 3. Vy is equal to root 7GR. This is U. Mathematics very simple all, but it should, if it strikes normally, then only it can retrace path. What is the basic necessity condition? The ball must strike the hemisphere normally at point P. At point P, we'll write like this. So that it can trace the, it can retrace so that it can retrace the path. And moreover, elastic collision equal to 1. I think so. Small objective questions can be asked. Just be alert. We'll discuss this question. Very, very simple. I think you should bring your imagination. If you can bring your imagination, little bit possible. The ball will come and collide. I'll increase the size. Okay, okay. Yeah. No, see this one. Once you read question, then it'll be very easy for me to explain. From the top, it will come and collide simultaneously with the 4 balls. and they're in gravity free space. So we need not to bother our weight, everything. So the one of the fifth ball will come and collide with the 4 balls simultaneously. Then all the balls will start moving. Then he's asking the speed of the ball 1, then speed of the ball which was initially traveling with the speed v, the fifth ball after impact. I think it's a 3D diagram. You can convert into plane diagram. You try to be somewhere in XY plane and make observation. Then you just draw 2 spheres, they'll be sufficient. Then you can construct a diagram here. We need to draw 4 diagrams because it's a 3D diagram will be very difficult. The third ball should be identical. Yeah. We will come and collide here, no? So this is what happens. I think if you can imagine this problem is over, I need not to discuss further, I feel. So this is the triangle, center of the triangle. You see this. Then in gravity spaces, there's no need of any ground or anything. Just leave it. Now this will approach with a velocity. So now we have after collision, before collision. I think two diagrams are very much necessary. So just before collision, just after collision, we'll show it. Now you see this. So it was approaching with a velocity v. So there's a ball 1 and 2. I'll show it. And this I'll call ball 1, ball 2. This is a ball 5. No need to show all of this, but in calculations you have to include all. So this angle should be 30 degrees, no doubt. This angle should be 30 degrees. Theta will write it. I'll extend this line. They were at rest. Will there be any impulse by them? Yes, the impulse, it will see impulse. Only 2 impulses I can show it, but 4 impulses will act all together. And the impulse on on these balls will be in this direction. Just after impulse, how do in the this ball, these balls will move in the direction of the impulse. So it will be like this. This ball will move in the direction of this. And this ball, we are saying that it will rebound. Let's assume that one. So there's a ball 1, ball 5. There's a ball 1, there's a ball 2. What is theta? 30 degrees. It should be, because all are symmetric, identical balls. So theta must be 30 degrees. Apply conservation of like a impulse momentum equation on the ball 5. On ball 5. MV initial 4 times of J cos theta. Now why 4? Because the impulse is what I'm showing by 2. Similarly, there'll be impulse by the ball 3 and 4 also. And finally, it is equal to minus MV. Okay, till here is what? Okay, now look at the ball 1 and they're having mass M. All are having mass M. That also will indicate. Now we'll apply the impulse momentum equation for ball 1 and 2 on balls 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is the equation we can write? J equal to What is the velocity they'll move? I think we'll write it. This is V5. Better we'll make it simple. And this is V1. This is V2. And V1, V2 equal to V3 equal to V4. Why all four balls must have same speed? The same impulse J will act on them. Only 1 and 2 I'm able to show the diagram. So 3, 4 also it will be. So therefore the impulse J should be equal to MV1, or it should also equal to MV2. How many unknowns are there? V1, V5, and J. I think badly we need one more equation. What is one more equation you can bring? The collision is perfectly elastic. So shall we take quotient of restitution formula? It's very much so. Between what? Between any one, between ball phi and any one ball, any one ball. So the quotient of restitution will end up like this. This will be the velocity of ball before collision. It was V. It was V. After collision, it has become V phi. And that of the ball 2 I am writing, ball 2, the diagram which I drawn now. So this is what line of impact for ball 2 and ball 5. And this direction, let me take positive. So what are the angles? Angles, how we have to take it? I think this should be the theta. This should be theta. This should be theta. This is directly along line of impact here. Let's write E equal to velocity V2, no, velocity of second ball. Okay, this will write V2 minus of V5 cos theta by V cos theta minus 0 as E equal to 1. So therefore this will become 1 equal to V2 plus V5 cos theta. Theta is 30 degrees. Root 3 by 2 by V root 3 by 2. Any simplification after this? V root 3 by 2 equal to V2 plus V5 root 3 by 2. Equation 3, you write it. This you call equation 2. This is equation 1. I think now we can solve, no? Very simple. Somehow student has to imagine. Somehow. So that imagination clarity is what needed. Like that, the impulses will be there. So why 4j cos theta is very important. Anybody, can you? Speed of the ball 1 after collision, root 2 V by 3. I think if you can input answer, we'll wind up the class. I'll write down V5 is, these are the answers. V5 is V by 3, V1, V2, V3, V4. This is equal to V root 2 by 3. Check once.
Sure.
Ah.
In the equation of E in denominator, why did you take V cos theta, sir?
Component of velocity along line of impact. Along line of impact is what all you should measure velocities, no? Velocity of the ball phi along line of impact. This LOI, no, it is called as. What is LOI? Line of impact. Okay, I'll end up the class. I have next junior one. Okay, we'll meet for paper discussion further. Okay, thank you all of you. Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.